For almost 30 years, Voller Law Firm has been winning serious injury and death cases for clients. They have collected millions of dollars on behalf of their clients and belong to the prestigious $1 Million Advocates Forum. When insurance or a wrongdoer won't pay for what they took from you, go with an award-winning firm with a track record of results. At Voller Law Firm, results matter. Make sure you go with lawyers that have the experience, ability, and financial power to hold those that hurt you accountable. Put your trust in Voller Law Firm. Give them a call at 662-323-0083.
You're listening to Thunder and Lightning on SuperTalk Mississippi, covering Mississippi State sports like nobody else. With Sports Talk Mississippi's Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk of On3 Sports. Now get ready for Thunder and Lightning.
This is Thunder and Lightning here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk here with you on a Monday morning. Thanks for joining us here at supertalk.fm or wherever it is that you get podcasts from. We appreciate you guys out there, our great listeners, especially our servicemen and women out there taking care of us. I want to thank our sponsors over at Strange Brew Coffee House and Churn and Spoon Ice Cream. Start your day the right way with a trip to the drive-thru over at Strange Brew Coffee House here in Starkville or at Brupolo over in Tupelo. Be a little weird, Robbie, if Brupolo was in Abbott.
Yeah, weird. Really weird.
Really weird. Wherever you're in our great state, you can enjoy Strange Brew Coffee each and every morning. It's just a click away at strangebrewcoffeehouse.com. The Mississippi Beef Council wants to remind you that beef, it is what's for dinner. The Beef Council would have been very proud of you yesterday, Robbie. That tri-tip looked fantastic.
I don't know if it could have been any better than it was.
You went into this, you were talking to me. You were very smart to reach out to me about this because, as you know, no one knows more about tri-tip than I do.
Yeah.
But you also went and consulted a couple of videos, and you were like, all right, I'm just going to do this. And
I did it your way. So I went and looked at a bunch of YouTube videos just to get to some different opinions.
Yeah.
Some of them were trimming the fat off.
Yeah.
Some of them kept it on to keep it juicy and all that. You know, I trimmed a little bit off, but it really was not much fat.
Those ones they gave us, I still have mine. They're pretty lean.
So
pretty good.
We put it on the Weber.
Yeah.
And indirect.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say we did it for probably 30 minutes.
It doesn't take long, because
we looked underneath and we're like, oh, that's like
it's off the crust.
Indirect, it was already getting kind of seared.
It was getting underneath,
So I said, let's just go ahead and sear this on the other side. Mm-hmm. I let it sit for about 30 minutes, pulled it out and cut it up, and I was like, this is perfect.
Tri-tip is so good. It's just so good.
I've told so many people the last 2 days about tri-tip that had never heard
tri-tip is one of
existed.
It's like CrossFit. Once you know, you know.
Yeah.
And it's what you want to talk about. Like, what are you grilling? Oh, you're going to go to tri-tip? Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hard to believe, we've had cows forever.
Yeah.
And people don't know that tri-tips exist.
Exactly. So what we're telling you is go get a tri-tip
thank you to Big Sam Blakeney for the tri-tips.
He did. We owe
that one came straight off the cow at Mississippi State.
It was right to our door.
It was excellent.
I got to cook mine. I'm going to cook mine maybe Arkansas weekend. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's for dinner. Thanks to our friends at the Mississippi Beef Council. College Corner, collegecornerstore.com is the place to find the maroon and white merchandise that you are looking for. And I know that you certainly are looking for it. The state script, the interlocking, the M over S. They got it all at College Corner. The holidays will be here before you know it. Get ahead of the game with a trip to College Corner. 2 locations in the Jackson area. Ridgeland by Fleet Feet, Florida with a half shell, or you can shop online at collegecornerstore.com. Restaurant Tyler, Starkville's flagship restaurant for lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. The best meal in town is always at Restaurant Tyler. I have not been to Restaurant Tyler in quite some time. I need to make a trip there soon, probably this week. I just can't, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I feel like I'm off my game. I need to go get some blackened catfish. I need to get the Hadad special. Blackened catfish with an extra fillet, mac and cheese, cheese grits, cornbread, Coke Zero. Yeah, it's healthy. And, I need one of those. And I'm probably going to get one this week, and I hope to see you there. I hope you can come enjoy a great lunch at Restaurant Tyler. Priority One Bank, 16 locations here to serve you throughout central Mississippi. Let PriorityOneBank.com be your guide and show you not only how they're going to help you live, how they're going to help you invest and manage your money, but how they're going to help
me live.
Yeah. I don't know if they have that kind of help.
How can you help us live through Mississippi State?
They don't have that kind of help at Priority One Bank, but they have plenty of help for you and your finances. Let Priority One Bank make you their priority. Florida 23, Mississippi State 21. Tell them, Faulk.
Well,
I didn't even have an intro. It's just like, let's go. All around me are familiar faces.
I bet, I honestly have been dreading this for,
Since it happened,
yeah.
I'm with you.
And last night when State was down 23 to, what was it, 23-17
Mhm.
or whatever.
Mhm.
No, it was 23 to
No, 23-14.
Okay,
Yeah.
23-14. They had the big pass completion to, I think, Brennan Thompson. They got inside the 10 or whatever. First things first, I said they're not going to score on this because Brennan had to dive to make that catch, like most of the deep balls in that game. And so my first thought was they're not going to score. When they did score, I said State's going to not be able to get off the field defensively. Well, they got off the field, 3 and out. And so State gets the ball, and they're driving down the field. And I'm thinking, okay, the other things that I predicted have not come true in a good way. This is great.
Yeah.
Could they actually pull this off? We never see this happen for Mississippi State. Well, no, I could see him missing a field goal right here, but who knows? Kyle Ferry missing 2 field goals, kind of hard to believe. So all I'm thinking is, it's going to come down to this field goal. Never once did it cross my mind Mississippi State's about to throw an interception to end the freaking game with under a minute left.
Yeah.
You're in field goal range.
Yes, that's correct.
You called a timeout.
Yeah.
And you threw an interception.
Yeah.
My blood pressure over the last 24 hours has not come down. It has been topping out.
The over-under on your blood pressure is 195 over 112.
I was watching the replay of that play with my cousin, and he got me on camera spazzing out.
If that cousin is listening, just shoot me a message. I would love to watch that video.
Because I'm sitting there going,
mine wouldn't be
okay,
pretty different.
The call right here is really dumb. To throw the football at all is really dumb. But secondly, where is the football going in this situation?
Yeah.
Why are you throwing it to the defensive tackle? Yeah. There was no white jerseys around. No. They were going this way. He threw it that way.
Correct.
So all that to say, I think the blame of this game is squarely on the shoulders of, to me, both Blake Shapen and Jeff Lebby. That was your biggest issues in this ball game. And Blake Shapen actually had good numbers in the game. I think he had over 300 yards passing. He completed his passes for a fairly high completion percentage.
67%.
67%. So if you're just looking at that and you see, I mean, I think State had more yards against Florida than anybody this year.
You have to really have watched the game to know where Shapen messed up.
Yeah. And so let's look at it real quick. Blake Shapen's 24 for 36. That looks good. 324.
Looks good.
Along with 4 he had some big explosive plays.
It's crazy that throw for 326 yards and not have a touchdown in there.
And what's crazy is there's probably 100 yards not on this.
That's easy money.
Beat. Brennan Thompson overthrown for a touchdown.
Twice.
Dron Glover overthrown for a touchdown. Wide open. 2 wide open plays.
3.
And then 3 wide open plays. And then the passes he completed he had to have a spectacular catch from Brennan Thompson twice and Anthony Evans diving catch. That was on those 3 passes. You total up the yards that could have been made there. I don't know, 50 more yards.
Yeah.
And then you have the other touchdowns. I mean, this would have been an astronomical game for Blake Shapen had they been able to.
This is a game that the veer and shoot offense, whatever you want to call Lebby's offense, you had the potential to be like 600-700 yards.
I mean,
and 40-50 points.
468 yards.
They left another 150 yards on the field.
And
easily.
So Blake Shapen played extremely poor in this game, from the awareness side of things to connecting to his receivers to having the players ready pre-snap. You come out of the locker room and you have an illegal procedure because you snap the ball before your receivers are set. This team does so many things wrong. They do so many things to shoot themselves in the foot. And that is what's so frustrating about this team, Brian, is that we said coming into the season, if the defense is just bad, if they're just 80th in the country, if they're just, average to bad, State is going to be good enough on offense. They will be able to overcome it. And now you look up and Jeff Lebby is the play caller. Mm-hmm. He's the head coach, and his offense is the problem. It's not the numbers to me don't matter. 468, those look good. 324 passing. Your running backs, Devon Booth and Xavier Gayton, outside of fumbling, they both rushed for 5 yards a rush. I thought Devon Booth was fantastic in this game.
Should have gotten more carries.
And so the way this game played out is why it's a problem. Penalties, pre-snap penalties, stupid penalties. On defense, Sakari Tillman with just a dumb penalty. You had another penalty where you couldn't get off the field on third down. I think it was a pass interference. Mm-hmm. It's so frustrating. And what makes it even more frustrating is you have these people at Florida yelling from the stands, chanting to fire the coach. They actually would have preferred to lose this game to leave no doubt that their coach was going to be fired, and you could not seize that opportunity. Now, we have seen this now for Mississippi State for several years, where they have someone, a lame duck coach, a team that's not really playing very well, and they can't go get it. This was their best chance to go get an SEC ball game, especially on the road in a hostile environment. They handed them the game, 3 and out, gave the ball back to State. They threw a pass play on third down to give State the ball with 1:45 left. They handed Mississippi State this ball game, and they couldn't take it. Losing teams find ways to lose. And that's what's happening with Mississippi State right now. They are finding ways to lose. And it's not about who they're playing. I can point to every single game this year, especially the ones that they've lost, and tell you that Mississippi State's problems are Mississippi State's problems, right, not what the other team is doing.
And the Texas A&M loss, Texas A&M is one of the best teams in the country, all right? I don't have any.
Every opportunity.
You had some opportunities, but at the same time, I would struggle.
We can call that game a loss, but I can make a very valid point.
A lot more competitive, I'll say that.
Well, State should have been winning that ball game by 2 touchdowns in the first.
Should have been.
Your defense did enough.
Yeah.
You were down 14-3 going into the fourth quarter with your offense doing absolutely
nothing.
Squat. Yeah. So right now, the biggest problem Mississippi State has is at quarterback and the decision making by Jeff Lebby in critical spots. Mm-hmm. He's not making the decisions to win games. And I don't know what that was on that last possession. State was moving the ball with relative ease. They could have run the football right there and gotten in field goal range. Florida was not stopping it. Mm-hmm. Instead, they hand deliver an interception to a defensive lineman who just happened to be standing there.
Yeah.
It's the most baffling, the most frustrating, mind-boggling loss I've seen from Mississippi State in a long time, and that's saying something because we've seen a lot of doozies. Mm-hmm. And it makes me question whether or not, do I need to continue to do this for my own health? Do I need to continue to do this? Because if I didn't get paid, I would not be doing this.
I talked about that last night with my wife. I was just like,
I have to walk away from sports.
I have to watch these games.
Yeah.
I have to do it.
When I get home from work now, I have to step back and that's what I watch my shows.
Let's talk about that a lot. That I'm sure you're in a bunch of group texts with your friends, right?
Oh my God! And my phone was on fire.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this is what they do as enjoyment, everything else. But when they're in their work day, their mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right. They're focused on accounting or being a lawyer or being a doctor or being whatever. You and I are Mississippi State football from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. Mm-hmm. And so it's inescapable.
And I don't know if don't feel sorry for us.
I'm not asking you to do that. No.
They spend money on this stuff.
Like, our jobs are not hard.
I will say it is taxing on you.
It's mentally.
When you grew up a Mississippi State fan, and I know the journalistic integrity and stuff like that, and I feel like I can do my job.
You do your job. You don't have to worry about it.
It doesn't bother me. But there is a lot of emotion tied to this, and the fact that I'm not a robot. You're not a robot. We grew up diehard Mississippi State fans. Mm-hmm. So when a team that we grew up cheering for, even if it's part of our job, when they have these frustrating moments like they do, it is very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So watching that game unfold last night, it made me ill in so many different ways. And the fact that State is so close to 6-1 and they're sitting here at 4-3, that's what's really difficult about it all, because we could be talking about Mississippi State, the playoff team right now.
We
Very
really easily could.
Now, it would take some work, but I think State could get in with 3 losses, depending on who it is. Texas A&M, Georgia, Missouri, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the rest of college football right now is wacky, outside of Ohio State. So it would not shock me if State was a 3-loss playoff team. It would be you'd have to have some things fall their way. So that's why it's really frustrating that they're 4-3 instead of 6-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting here going, like, can Jeff Lebby win an SEC football game? Because right now he's 0-11 in the SEC.
0-8, yeah.
0-11. That is tough, man. The end of the day, the results are what matters, and I think this team is no doubt just has made an incredible jump from last year, but they're still losing games, and that's what's really frustrating about it. So
there you go. Let's jump in. These are the things that are true. I'm not doing a lot of preamble today.
Thank you.
Yeah. These are the things that are true. They are brought to you by Bell Building Supply. I told my wife this week, our dishwasher was giving us some issues, so we had to pull it out and figure it out, right? And I was like, do we just have a lot of money laying around? Because we could go big here. We could get a dishwasher that we ain't never going to have to worry about again, a Cove dishwasher from our friends at Bell Building Supply. She turned me down, which, I get.
Happens a lot.
Buddy, that's a podcast. MA rating. But what I'm telling you guys is this. Are you looking to replace your refrigerator, your stove, your dishwasher? By all means, if you can do that, you should be taking a look at what Bell Building Supply is offering you with the Wolf range line, with the Sub-Zero fridge line, and the Cove dishwasher line, because they are the best of the absolute best. None higher than what you can get at Bell Building Supply. Call our friend Wes Shelton today. Tell him, hey, I heard about this on Thunder and Lightning. Need a new fridge. He's going to tell you, buddy, I got one for you. None colder, nothing hotter, nothing get your dishes cleaner than the products from Sub-Zero, from Wolf, and from Cove dishwashers. Check them out. You will not be disappointed if this is a purchase that you made. It's a big purchase. It's a big investment. It's worth every penny at Bell Building Supply. I got 12 things that are true. Let's jump right in. There will be no justifying the final play call.
In any form or fashion.
It is unjustifiable. I will not hear anything that tells me that the final play call should not just have been to run the football and kick the field goal. That is the only 2 things that should have happened there. I saw that Lebby in the press conference said he loved the call. At some point, Jeff has to just say, I screwed up.
Because the fans aren't going to want you.
Nobody wants to hear I love the call.
Even if you did love the call, lie about it.
Just tell us a lie at that point. I will not hear it. If you're somebody out there who's like, well, what if no. Play the odds. You're 30 seconds away from a win that will put so much energy into your program. All you got to do is kick a field goal, and you got a good kicker. I don't know what happened on the field goal that he kicked. I thought it was good. There are some replays where it looks good. There are some replays where maybe it doesn't. I don't know what happened, but I trust.
And he barely missed it if he missed it.
I trust Kyle Ferry. Put him in the middle of the field. He'll kick the field goal and win the game. I trust him to do that. Jeff Lebby denied his entire team an opportunity to do that. And as far as for Shapen, you can't put the game into his hands there, right? And somebody on the message board, I forget who it was, whatever. There's you can put the game into Matt Corral's hands there. You can put the game into Dylan Gabriel's hands there. But you can't put it in Blake Shapen's hands. All right? He's not good enough for you to just trust implicitly in that situation. You have to
He hasn't done any. He
He's done
he had
nothing.
he had the pass against Arizona State, but he hasn't done anything else that would.
I don't think enough people realize how lucky that play was that Seydou Traore trips up the defensive back. If Traore doesn't trip up that, and it completely inadvertent, wasn't designed, he's not trying to block that guy. He's trying to get out in his route. They cross paths, and that gives Shapen the extra second he needs to find Thompson. If that doesn't happen, they lose the game.
Yep. And it's just
number two.
frustrating, man.
Number two. Coming back to what you were just saying, Robbie, losing to a coach whose fans are loudly chanting to fire. When I can hear the chant over on the TV of fire Billy, that's one of the most embarrassing moments in this program's history. It's not the most embarrassing. It's not Toledo. It's not Maine. It's not Troy State. It's not those, but it's in the discussion. You will mention it. If I had to do a top 5, it's probably going to make it.
I don't think you can say this was more embarrassing than Toledo.
Again, it's not.
But it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing in itself.
Yeah, because
they
haven't fired him yet. It's 12:21. I will be shocked if
they are having a meeting as we speak.
Yeah,
I think in 30 minutes as we're recording this, they're having
the time we are finished. Might have
he will be fired.
He'll be fired. Yeah,
he's going to be fired today.
Yeah, there you go.
And so that's what's really crazy about this. He ran off the field last night after winning a game, probably his last game inside that stadium, and was booed. And Mississippi State could not beat that team.
Yeah.
When everybody in the stadium knew that their coach was going to be fired today or tomorrow or whenever they announce it, State still couldn't win the game.
Yeah.
And this game was kind of like lost earlier in the game. I know they had a chance.
Sure.
I know they had a chance to win, but you had a chance to kill Florida. You had a chance to kill their spirit. You scored on the first possession, which is exactly what you needed to have happen. You stopped them from scoring a touchdown the first possession, which I think was a win. That was to hold them to a field goal in that situation. That was big.
Yeah.
And you couldn't take advantage of that because on the very next possession, you miss a 50-yard touchdown pass where, Brennan Thompson right now, they're just telling him to run, and he is consistently wide open.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that all night.
Brennan Thompson could have set a Mississippi State single game receiving record last night if the ball had been there a couple times for him. He was open every play. Florida had issues in the secondary. I'll give Lebby credit for that. They had issues in the secondary, and they had nobody who could stay with Thompson.
Yep.
So they kept sending him deep, but they didn't connect.
Thompson had 155 yards, and he could have had 2 touchdowns for sure.
At 255. I don't know
the touchdown alone would have put him over 100.
The record.
200.
The record I think is still Jamion Lewis.
Liberty
Bowl.
Yeah, Liberty Bowl against
somebody recently.
Did Fred Ross break it against
Arkansas? That's late. No.
It was next year. No, it was 2 years later.
It's not though. There was a Leach game where somebody had a ridiculous game. I forget what.
Was it Mekhi Polk maybe?
It might be. I'd have to go back and look, but
I don't know.
It could have been Brennan Thompson. So, number 3, this is the kind of loss that gets you fired in a normal situation. This is because you look at it and you go, your fan base has zero faith in you right this second.
He's got to.
He's as good as it's ever been. The people who are still positive are people who are just going to be positive. They're people who just like, I refuse to say anything negative about the program.
And they are not going to be found today.
Yeah, well, and that's fine.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
I don't shame anybody.
No, what I'm saying is the only response we're seeing right now is negative.
Yeah.
I don't blame those people for being positive. I'm just saying there is no one defending Jeff Lebby today on social media or the board.
Number 4. I asked this question in the post-game show last night, and I was like, I want you guys just to answer yes or no. If State runs the football and then they go for a field goal and they miss it, could you have lived with that? And everybody was like, yes.
Yeah.
Everybody could have lived with that. You did the thing we can't live with. You made that mistake.
Not even giving yourself a chance.
If you run the ball, it's good. It's second down, right? So you can spike it there. In all likelihood, Florida's going to call timeout.
I thought they had called a timeout. I couldn't believe
State called timeout there. I could not believe it.
I thought it was Billy Napier.
But fine. Florida's going to call timeout. You run the ball to center the ball. Either Florida calls a timeout there or Napier says, you know what, we're going to run it down and see what they do. You get your field goal team ready to go in the timeout. Say, hey, as soon as they mark the ball, we're out there. Do what TCU did, remember a few years ago against Baylor? You have more time than they did. And you kick the field goal. In all likelihood, Florida's calling a timeout, though. You got time. And then you can sneak it and let them call again or what. You had enough time to do all of this. You did the one thing you couldn't do. You've put the ball in danger. Everybody, if I'm telling you right now, this podcast is so different. Everybody's just looking at it like, you know what? He missed, and that's tough, but it's okay. We're getting better. You might have a lot of people who's like, we're going to beat Texas. But that's not happening.
And they still might beat Texas.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Tulu against South Carolina was the record.
I knew it was a more recent.
256. That was
a Bar Bay game.
Yes. But remember, it was like
they kept hitting.
They just chunking it down the field.
That was the game where Will Rogers really had the arm working for whatever reason.
Jamie Lewis was second. So.
Yeah, Jamie. Okay.
And then you have that obscure Jamel Smith game against Arkansas. Remember that in 2008 or 2007?
Yeah.
208 yards. That was like the first.
Wes Carroll threw for like 450 in that game or something.
That was like the first time I'd ever seen a receiver.
Give him hell, Jamel.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5. Once again, your offensive head coach can't score points. It is incredible that Jeff Lebby, the architect of some of the highest scoring offenses in SEC history, when he was at Ole Miss, they averaged 38 points a game on an all SEC schedule. And in SEC games this year, 34, not bad, but then 9 and now 21. That's not enough. That's not enough. And it ties into number 7. Once again, your defense played well enough to win. I cannot believe we are having these discussions that it's the offense costing Mississippi State wins. I can't believe it. You hired Jeff Lebby to score points, score from far, dime time, show time. None of it happening. It's incredible that they can't get this right. And I don't know if that's just because Shapen can't do it, or I know there's some play calling issues. Well, you know what? Let me go to number 8. Number 8. Lebby is another one of these coaches that just gets away from what's working. You got running backs averaging 5 yards a carry. Hand them the ball.
And like just a regular handoff.
Yeah.
Like that
I hate this. Like, thing has to be an RPO.
We're going to toss it, and then the guy's coming in sweeping.
Yeah.
He gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Just hand the ball off. Let him run up the middle just like we did.
You're going to 5 yards a carry.
It's crazy. It's
bring your tight end in motion. Let him be your lead blocker. Number 9. 2010 game plan would have won the game. I'm not saying go 49-9, but if you are 3-1 run to pass in this game, you win.
Well, and they didn't even need to do that. That they could have thrown the football for 500.
They could have, but they didn't.
Well, and here's the thing. I will say I don't disagree with throwing it the way that they did because you're down 4 starters in the secondary. They attacked that. It should have been there. It should have been a 500-yard game for Blake Shapen. But he couldn't hit the passes. He's not in sync with these receivers.
That goes back to what I'm saying. It's like Lebby has to realize at some point, it's not working with Blake Shapen. Number 9. You know what? I don't even know.
You said number 9 like 5 times.
The next thing that is true is the quarterback situation adds to my distrust of Lebby. All right, Shapen clearly not getting it done. Cromenhawk falling off the face of the earth. And then what they do with Camaro Taylor makes me want to be sick. All right. I understand. I go all week and I'm like, I feel like sometimes, I know it's not the case. I really know it's not. But I feel like sometimes Lebby is listening and he's like, I'm going to screw with that guy. Because they ran 4 straight quarterback powers with him.
And then took him out of the game.
To run another quarterback.
I would have just rather kept Camario. He would have had a shot.
He would have had a chance. They tackled Shapen. Camario could have pushed forward and got.
And now Camario made a bad read on 3rd down. He had Xavier Gayton for 30 yards.
Yeah.
If he would have just handed the ball off to Xavier Gayton, he was gone.
He's gone.
But I hate how they use Camario. They run
plays.
They let him run the offense.
Yeah.
Let him throw the football. He can chunk it. Let him run the football.
Especially with
Let him
what
throw the football.
we're seeing with Shapen, it's so much of the one read. He's not moving his head. He's looking at one guy. Camario can do that. And if you're going to tell me he doesn't grasp the playbook, find what he does grasp and let him do that.
Maybe that's what it is, but I don't know.
Tell me I can only run 30% of the playbook with Camario Taylor, then fine. That 30%.
Yeah,
Because if 30% is him running, plus him handing off, plus him throwing deep every now and then, it's enough.
and at what point do you just say like, "Hey, we're going to give him a whole series here"? And
Steve,
like,
got to do it.
I know we've said many times on here, like Shapen's quarterback, they're not making a change. I still don't believe they will.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, it might be like a situation like we talked about a few years ago when we were like, let's just see what Mike Wright's got.
Yeah.
And, we saw it, and it wasn't good. So, all right, put Will Rogers back in there. That's kind of where I'm at here with Blake Shapen because there is a limit in what he can give you right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not connecting on the deep ball, which is a huge part of this offense.
Right.
And you're just not. He should be hitting these players inside.
His strength is his arm.
And I think
he should be able to find these guys.
He's overshooting him. He's throwing it too hard. And so that's what's killing him. So you picked up a guy in Brendan Smith that is an absolute weapon and just getting past defenders.
Yeah.
And they can't stop him. He's getting wide open. And you couldn't find him. And that is a massive problem for you offensively because you don't have a lot of options at receiver. The guys that you do, you're not hitting in those big plays down the field. You don't have a lot of guys that can take, like Kevin Coleman last year, that could like take a screen pass and turn it into a big gain. The screen passes, the throws to the sidelines, those hardly ever work for Mississippi State. The jet sweeps hardly ever work. So it's just not working with this personnel. It would just be nice to see what can Camario do. Show us that Camario can't do it.
Yeah.
Put him in there. If he can't run the offense,
everybody at least says, okay.
All right, Blake's the best shot we got this year.
Yeah.
But for now, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
You brought him in there for a touchdown. You brought him in there in a key situation in that first possession, and you were going to do the same thing at Texas A&M. Let him do this.
Yeah. All right, next one. I've lost count. You're right. I think this actually is number 9.
You said number 9 like 4 times.
You know what? Whatever.
Just say next one.
Next one.
That'll be fine.
You absolutely cannot go into the coaching search market today with these jobs opening up. You do not want to be in this market. All right. As we speak, Arkansas is open. Florida is about to be open. Oklahoma State is open. Penn State is open. UCLA is open.
Virginia Tech
is open. I'm not saying all these jobs are better than Mississippi State, by the way.
Florida and Florida State are probably both coming open.
So let's go to what's about to come open. Florida and Florida State are going to be open. Auburn is going to be open.
It's looking that way.
Kentucky is going to be open. That's Summerall, though. That's an easy plug for them.
You would think.
But that means Tulane's going to be open.
Mm-hmm.
Tulane, again, not a better job than Mississippi State, but open. There's a less than 50 or whatever you want to say. South Carolina is probably going to be open. LSU is probably going to be open.
It might.
I mean, LSU's already lost 2 games, and they still have Alabama to play, and they still have Oklahoma and Texas A&M.
They're probably going to lose 4,
easily,
at least.
And that's not enough.
I don't know. I don't know if that's
he's lost 4 games every year he's been there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be acceptable.
One year where he had a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
Yep.
You don't want to be getting the 13th best coach available. You got to ride the year out.
I totally get.
I get the
I
thing.
understand.
I
understand. Like every time something like this happens,
it's
just like you fire Lebby, fire this. We have no trust in him, whatever. But I can't say this like plainly enough. Like Mississippi State cannot go into another coaching search 2 years removed from just having one and 3 years removed from having another. Pretty much, you're essentially looking at 4 coaches in 6 years.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do it.
I understand this society is like, oh, just give me the next guy, but that eventually, and it hurt them with when you hired Jeff Lebby. Coaches talk, and it was like they keep firing coaches, or things are happening there, and that's a program they have like 3 10-win seasons ever, and they keep firing all these coaches. Who are you going to hire? I understand everybody thinks that Dan Mullen's just going to come crawling back here. I don't even know if Mississippi State's going to take him if
Yeah.
he wanted to come back, and I don't even know if he wants to leave where he is right now.
Right.
So if that's the case, who are you hiring next? We'll just go get James Franklin. Why would James Franklin want to come here right now?
Right. Why don't have better options? He could get Auburn.
People think that you're just going to write a check and James Franklin's just going to jump on board.
If James Franklin has to pick between Mississippi State, Auburn, Florida, Florida State,
and that's
LA.
That's the thing. There's two. It's not all the fact that like you shouldn't fire a coach after 2 years right now. It's the fact that the options that you will have available are going to be incredibly
Vandy could come
slim.
open because Clark Lee is going to be in demand. I mean, we have to. That's the other side you have to look at is what jobs are going to come open from other coaches leaving, and because they take other jobs, and Vandy is going to be one of them. I'm trying to think my way around like who's a hot coach that could, some role I mentioned. Galesh at South Florida is going to be mentioned. Silverfield, although they lost yesterday.
Yeah, that took a little bloom off the rose.
I almost put them as in no coffee, but somebody else stepped up for that. All right, let's get these last two in. Incredibly, Mississippi State could win every game on the schedule if they would just play to their potential.
That is what's insane.
This team is good enough to beat Texas, beat Georgia, beat Arkansas, beat Missouri, and beat Ole Miss. They are absolutely good enough to do that.
And if there's a silver lining in this thing with Jeff Lebby is that he and his staff have gotten this team to that point.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they're kind of standing in the way too. Like it's kind of like a double-edged sword here. Like you had to get better, you got better players, you got a lot better than we even thought. But now you're at the point where like you should be even better, and they're not. I can promise you on Monday when we talk to Jeff Lebby, he's going to talk about all the things that they're doing wrong and how it's all on them, and they have not executed the way they need to execute, and that's 100%. Like they haven't just gone out and played really, really hard and not made mistakes, and the other team was just better.
Yeah,
that I think Tennessee
they did that. Yeah,
in that game they made a ton of mistakes.
Yeah, they could have won. Yeah.
So it's just right now Mississippi State is holding Mississippi State back.
Yeah. Because the other side of that coin is the last one. They could also lose every game remaining on the schedule. And I think right now that's where the odds are that they're going to finish 4-8.
Which is something that we said was possible, but
never thought it
is playing out is what makes it frustrating.
Yeah,
like
they should have had two more wins. They had Tennessee and Florida beat and couldn't beat them.
There's a ton of people that predicted. I mean, you predicted 4-8. There's a ton. I predicted
not like this.
That's what I'm saying. Is the way that it's happening is what's frustrating. This team is better than we thought.
My prediction was based on the idea that defensively they had not done enough to get talent in, and that I just didn't believe in Hutzler.
Yeah, and
I thought they would just lose a bunch of high-scoring games. If you had told me they were going to be 4-3 at this point, and they were losing games because they can't get in the end zone, I would not have believed you. But that's where we are.
Yep.
Let's move into the last part of the show that's brought to you by our friends over at Two Brothers Smoked Meats and the older brother. I was really mad at my oldest daughter the other day. I suggested Two Brothers. She was like, What? I was like, child of mine.
Traitor!
So we'll hit it again soon, though, because I love Two Brothers. I've talked about this before. Like, I'm an eat my feelings kind of guy. Buddy, you don't think that I could put down about $100 at Two Brothers? Did you see what I tweeted last night, by the way, about Two Brothers? So we've been having problems here at the studio. By the way, if you're a Thunder and Lightning postgame live listener, again, my apologies. We keep having these issues on these road games where I try to come up here to do the podcast and I can't for whatever reason. It won't go live. And last night we had no sound. So I go home and I tweet it out. I was like, this is try number 3. If this doesn't work, I'm going to Two Brothers and the first round is on me. And I was ready to pay for a round for the whole bar, but thankfully the show worked because my wife would have, again, been mad at me. She'd have just had to get over it, though. Two Brothers Smoked Meats, I could go for some wings. That should be their slogan. I could go for some wings. Great products, great service. Every business likes to promise it to you. They deliver it to you at Advantage Business Systems. They've been doing it for, I can't wait for this one, 50 years.
50.
You need technology for your business, call Advantage Business Systems. If you need a new copier or a new printer, you need to talk to those good folks there. They will get you, not only will they get you taken care of with a great piece of equipment, but they will guarantee the service afterwards. You can't. What are you laughing at? What did I do now?
You can finish it. I'll tell you
when
your ad reads.
They will take care of you long after the sale. 601-362-9192 or visit them online, absms.com. Find out how Advantage Business Systems will help your business do business. If you're going to be in Starkville City, Maroon & Co., that's the place you're going to find the Mississippi State merchandise that you are looking for. Everything maroon and white, everything state script and interlocking, everything you need for your house, your car, your tailgate, everything Mississippi State in one location in Starkville. It's at Maroon & Co. or maroonandco.com. That's the website. Use our promo code Thunder15 in-store or online to save 15% off regular price. Next time you're in Starkville, before you go to Davis Wade Stadium, go to Maroon & Co. Great weekend, great weather out there this weekend. If you're out there in the yard, if you're in the garden, if you got projects around the house, if your dishwasher breaks, things of that nature, everything I just mentioned, I can find something to help you out at Scruggs Farm Lawn and Garden. Guys, I know that we're getting to the time of year where maybe you're mowing the grass less. It doesn't mean that you need to use a lesser mower. John Deere is the way to go. Get one at Scruggs. They call the credit department, tell them, hey, this is what we got. They're going to find a plan that works for you. And a lot of times it's going to be 0% financing. It's going to be up to 60 months. They can help you out. Whatever you're looking for. There's a reason the slogan, of all the slogans that businesses have, I think Scruggs has the most truthful one when they say, Scruggs Farm Lawn and Garden in Saltillo, they have what you want for less. Once again, we've been talking about, if you've bought some property lately and you're thinking, I got timber. I got to get these trees down. I got to clear this land out. Who do I need to talk to? You want to talk to Good Hope Land and Timber. Years of experience, a fully trained, fully certified team of loggers. What are you doing? Anything from land and timber purchasing, plantation thinning, timber management, development, harvest. Are you thinning out for a stand? You just want to manage your forest for the long term. Whatever your needs are, Good Hope Land and Timber is happy to talk to you and earn your business. Locally trusted, landowner approved, Good Hope Land and Timber. What's so damn funny?
I was laughing at this video of Killer Cross, and he was at a whatever
one of the indie shows.
Yeah, and so this girl comes up in the ring and hits him with a chair on his back.
Yeah.
He turns around, she throws the chair, and he headbutts it. And then he just picks her up, and the ceiling is like the one in here with the little thing. Yeah. He throws her through it, and her head goes through the little ceiling, and then she comes back.
I'll find that. I love Killer Cross. He was on Van Vliet the other day. An interview. He had Scarlet, right? It's the
He does an incredible Jesse Ventura impression.
So it's so good. I can't do Ventura.
It's amazing.
I'm in the Baja. I can't. He and Will Sasso.
Yes. Oh my God, Will Sasso.
Sasso can do Ventura.
Macho Man.
He can do Macho Man.
He can Scott Hall.
His Scott Hall. That is the funniest. That clip, I watch it a lot. I watch two clips a lot to make myself laugh. It's Will Sasso doing Scott Hall, where he says, "Hey Sasso, you look like someone who could do coke and eat." That is one of the funniest things ever. It's so funny. That and the one that was recent with Dan Soder doing Andre the Giant conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
The earth is flat.
And then there's Will Sasso as Tony Soprano on Mad TV.
He does that.
They just keep
it's like real life.
Blurting out when they keep blurting out all the cuss words, so it's just and it's just cut scenes like that.
And Sasso does Ric Flair too, and he does Triple H.
Yes.
So Sasso's really good. So.
And he does Randy Newman.
Yeah. Wandy? He does Wandy?
Redhead lady.
Eating an apple?
We need something
one bite
about in Mississippi State. Sorry.
We're talking about something important.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Coffee is for closers is brought to you by Strange Brew Coffee House. Hey, the holidays are almost here. If you have a coffee lover in your life, strangebrewcoffeehouse.com. All of the great coffees they sell, plus mugs and everything coffee related. Coffee flavored. All right. Jeff Lebby, your 6-shot espresso, no go. Absolutely not.
He's not getting espressos on Monday.
The easiest decisions I've ever made that Jeff Lebby's not getting that coffee. You can believe that.
I don't know how he's going to wake up on Monday morning, but it won't be through espresso.
Well, the people in the building are going to have to wake him up, whatever building he's in. In the SEC, I thought there was only one loss that really stood out. I mean, Tennessee losing to Alabama. Alabama's really good. And I want to talk a little bit more about Alabama in just a second. Kentucky could have gotten this, but at the end of the day, nobody expected Kentucky to win that game. So on and so forth. It's Auburn. And that job is going to come open. And Auburn is kind of where Mississippi State is in that they hired a guy who was an offensive coach and they can't score. Like they score less than Mississippi State does. A State Auburn game might get you another 3-2. It really might. Freeze just looks like he's ready to go out there. He's ready. He's ready to call it a day.
Well, he knows that he's cooked. He doesn't have the and
he's never had that before. Like when they fired him at Ole Miss, I always think back to like his last game at Ole Miss was the 2016 Egg Bowl, and going into that game, I never would have thought that was going to be his last game.
Yeah.
So he's just his normal self out there. Now he's feeling the pressure, and this is the first time in his career he's really ever felt that.
And he can't talk about we just don't have the players yet. No, you've had 3 years to get this
right. You got 2 NFL wide receivers.
Look at the 5 stars he got at wide receiver.
Yeah.
And Jackson Arnold was their guy.
Well, he's a star.
They had plenty of opportunities to get a quarterback. That's who they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's who you brought in. That's a bad evaluation on your part.
Yeah.
So you're responsible for that. You're responsible for getting him ready, getting him developed. They didn't do it. It just didn't work at Auburn for whatever reason.
However, throw a special mention. Maybe they can have a small coffee. They can't have. No. They can't. No coffee. The Ole Miss defense
didn't get a stop.
Get a single stop. Georgia scored on every drive they had. Except I guess they took a knee at the end. That's it, right?
Yeah.
That's the only drive they didn't score on.
And they stopped them and held them to a field goal in the first possession. Then I think everything else
was a touchdown.
And Georgia was the same way to the fourth quarter.
You can't tell me that when Georgia went for 2 and didn't get it, you weren't thinking, boy, they'll chase that point the whole game and they'll end up losing by 1.
Yeah.
What's funny is if they had kicked the extra point there, Ole Miss would have needed 2 scores. It would have been a 9-point game. But regardless, Ole Miss's defense they've taken a big step. I mean, they gave up big points to Arkansas. They gave up plenty of points to Kentucky. LSU can't score on anybody. LSU could have gotten this too. They're in real trouble. But we'll give it to Auburn. Special mention to the Ole Miss defense. Nationally, I had options here, but when I think about Alabama, I think Alabama is the best chance to beat Ohio State. Right? They could go 14-1. And that loss is going to be to like a 4-8 Florida State team who gets no coffee. Florida State lost to Stanford last night. Oh, that's a conference game. I'll point that out. I don't know how Tallahassee to Palo Alto isn't further than Eugene to Piscataway, but whatever.
My gosh.
Florida State, when they beat Alabama, were like, all right, Seminoles are back. Don't know what happened last year, but we'll move on. Nope. And Norvell's buyout is $50 million. Oh, well, somebody's going to have to pay it. I don't know what the big Florida State alum thing is. I don't know what they sell, but they're going to have to sell them because they're going to have to pay that buyout. Florida State 2 years ago went 13-0. Got screwed out of the college football playoff. I will admit I don't do the whole the team was different and they couldn't have competed. I say your record is what gets you into the playoff. That's how I feel about it. I feel like they got screwed. I think the way they handled that by the whole team opting out and then letting them go to Georgia and lose by 50, I think that cursed them. I think the football gods were like, you should have showed up, given Georgia a game, beaten them, and said, what now? Made the AP or make them vote for a national champion with you sitting there undefeated. They could have done it, but they didn't. So Florida State, Mike Norvell, no coffee for you guys. All right, tomorrow we'll. Go ahead.
I got a question for you here.
I will be happy to answer.
I just saw this on the message board. Okay. Blake Shapen on Instagram has a post. Keep that same
blanket.
It's only 2.
Florida has fired Billy Napier.
Wow, it's only 2 asterisks. So is that fat energy? I don't know what that is.
Fun.
I mean, are you saying we're fat? I don't know.
Why are you body shaming me? I'm trying to lose weight, Blake.
Players can't talk to fans like this anymore, can they? And get away with it.
Well,
he's making, I assume, over $1 million.
Yeah.
Luke Cromenhawk came in there and said, "We don't need any of that fake SHIT. Luke Kromenhawk is making close to $1 million, I'd imagine, as the third string quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't talk to fans this way anymore. You can't.
Right.
If you don't perform, you are an employee now, whether the NCAA says you are or not. You're an employee. You're no longer the student athlete stuff. This is what the players wanted. The players wanted to be compensated. They wanted to make money. You are going to be criticized like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake Shapen's 24 at this age, at this state. You can't talk to fans like this. You threw an interception last drive on the road, lost the ball game. It's not all Blake Shapen's fault, but you have to assume some responsibility here.
Mm-hmm.
And as the quarterback of the team, you're responsible for that situation there. You didn't perform to your standard, to Mississippi State's standard under Jeff Lebby. You got to eat it.
Yeah.
When we do something stupid on here, we're hearing it from the fans too.
Yeah.
And this is a free podcast. We're not a starting quarterback that's making well over six figures, probably close to 7, if not over 7. So I don't like this from the quarterback of your team doing that. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And talking to the fans this way, which I'm assuming I could be wrong on this. He could be talking about something else. I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do this.
Can't do it.
You
can't do
can't
it anymore. Oh, we'll probably get talked.
It's not us against the world. All this stuff. Mississippi State is the fans are bankrolling.
Yeah.
The football program.
We'll talk Shapen tomorrow too. I'm sure.
I mean, it's. I don't
see how
like
it goes. You know what tomorrow's show is? Robbie's now one up on me in the SEC playoffs or in SEC pick'em because I took the Ole Miss Rebels, but that's fine by me. I will come back and I will defeat him one way or the other. That means I have to stuff him in the back of my trunk and drive him off to a location that he was never seen again. That counts as a win for me because I didn't have to pay for the dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
We will. See you guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. For Robbie Faulk, I'm Brian Hadad. Thanks for listening to Thunder and Lightning here on Super Talk, Mississippi.